Greetings and welcome back to the lab. It's time for another unboxing. I've got some more parts that have arrived and I want to give you a little bit of an update. And actually I want to say this one here worked out beautifully. You haven't seen me build this particular one. This is an infrared light. But just to give you a quick demo, let me steal this one, which is my charging version. So I can put a couple of batteries in here, and this is just an indicator light. But I hang this up using the alternate charging system, and I can charge up the batteries. And beauty of this one is I don't have to keep soldering. This is really nice that I can actually just put these on. And let me see if I can find now. I'll warn you, there's going to be some blinking lights here. Oh, now that's interesting. That should be a little bit brighter than that. Let's see. Maybe this battery is having a problem. Or maybe the contacts were having a problem. So that's got that. Now let me get the other one in there. And you can see I can put two of them in here. I've got to work some part of that out, and that's the batteries themselves. But this little indicator light, which I'm going to partially cover up here just so it doesn't swamp everything out, that is so that if I glance at it at night I can tell it's working, but or even during the day. But all of these other lamps here are infrared, and they're helping me to light up the dark areas of the yard, which was the original beginning, the genesis of this particular idea of doing some kind of lamp, some kind of light that would light things up for me. So I'm quite happy that this is working the way it is. I'm going to take the batteries out for the moment, save them. We'll put them, I'll put them somewhere. Oh, I know where I'll put them. So let me get rid of these. I'll get my little storage boxes that I've been using for these. And I'll probably put a different set of batteries in tonight around dark, when it gets dark. And they should last all night. So let's move on. Mostly I'm going to go in sort of reverse chronological order here. This is the one that just most recently arrived, and if it is what I think it is, which I've been surprised before, this should be for the musical keyboard project. Actually, most of this will be for that. And this is a knockoff. Interesting. Wish you are a favor of your item brought from us. Okay, we'll take a look at that later. It's a knockoff of the JBL, I forget which one, but what I did was I bought myself a less expensive, I don't know how cheap it's going to be, but a less expensive version of a Bluetooth speaker, so that I have something I can plug the sound into for the keyboard. I was trying to figure out what to do in terms of amplifying and mixing the sound and all of that. Right now I've got sound generation coming up, but it will drive a speaker for a couple of them. I don't know if it'll be powerful enough to do all of them. So if nothing else, I can take the output and knock it down to the point where it'll work with line in, which this speaker is supposed to be capable of. Okay, yep. So it's a Bluetooth speaker, but I got it actually more for the function of line in. How do you open this thing? Well, it looks like it should open here. There we go. Alright, wow, cheesy little cable, another cheesy little cable, but this does appear to be for the line in. Now this is a different design because it was the cheapest one from this particular seller. I'm assuming that the innards are all the same, but this is the design I picked up. And you can see that kind of looks like JBL, but it says T and G. And let's just see if it powers on. Okay, interesting. We have what looks like an access panel. Okay, there we go. We got our line in capability. We get a part for the memory card. We've got an input for charging the internal battery. Let me try holding down.
Bluetooth mode.
Okay. Well, now you've heard that. Now you can't unhear it. And so, yeah, I'm going to assume for the moment that this is what that's going to be about, and I can plug it in. I will do further testing. If warranted, I'll do a further breakdown of what this is about, but I don't want to use the entire video just on this one item. So we will, oops, I guess we got to turn it off. Cute. Sound effects and all. So for anybody that's interested, it's the TG117. And we'll see how well that works when we get to that particular point in the project, and we're getting closer. Putting that aside. This arrived right before that, and I think this is going to be the new circuit boards. This is either going to be the circuit boards for the sound module or the next project. And I'm also working on a third project idea because I realized here I am sitting waiting for all the parts to arrive to do the next part of the keyboard, and I didn't have things set up for other projects, so I just started kind of vamping and trying to come up with ideas to... So anyway, there are two more projects on the way. One of them I'm going to document the process of how I do the design. So might as well get that. Let's find out together which one I got. Yep, it's the sound module. And this time it's vacuum packed. If you watched the last video, it was the easy open packaging that I couldn't figure out how to open, so I ended up slicing them like this. And it turns out when I went back and watched the video, it was really obvious where the tabs were to open it up. But let's see what this looks like. Alright. That looks complicated, doesn't it? Let's separate out one. It's also on the heavier side because it's almost a full 100 by 100 millimeters. But let's grab the pointer. And so really what we've got here is places for 1, 2, 3, 4 chips. These are going to be 556 chips. This is 555 based, but 556 is actually just two of them on one package. So that's why they're straddling the lines, because each one of these lines is dividing out for each one of the keys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 keys. There are going to be 8 oscillators here. So we've got those 4, and we've got all the support components, and we also have down here we've got room for, what did I do? Oh yeah. We've got a capacitor. We got a couple of capacitors here, and then at the very bottom is a variable resistor. So I've got it lined up. I had to turn these because there's another header right here. This is coming from the actual keyboard and providing the switch signals into this board here. All of this is support components basically, with down here we've got the variable resistors for fine-tuning the sound, and up here we've got individual outputs if you happen to want to do your own mixing of the individual outputs. Then you have access up here, and we've got another part coming that has some relation to that. And then on either side, we've got the combined power and input and output. So that's why I called it power/I/O number 1 and number 2, because it wouldn't let me just put the same label on both. They are just connected to each other and then connected into the circuit. So that is the circuit board, and we will be testing that soon. I'll get rid of that. I'll put these back in the box. And put this away. So I'm a happy camper. I've got my circuit boards now. All I need is all of those support components, and that's where some of this comes in. Now this should be one part of the components I need. Packed reasonably well. And then an anti-static bag, and this appears to be the variable resistors, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see that from there. Let me crack this open and spill out a few of them. So these will ultimately sit, these 3 pins will sit down, and good. Something I was worried about when I went back and looked at the picture of what I ordered. It appeared that they had taken the screw up here. This is your adjustment screw, and there's different models. There's one that has it on the top and one that has it on the front or on the side here. I wanted the top one because then when this is plopped into the board, you could take a screwdriver, if this was a screwdriver, and be able to adjust it this way. So I'm happy. I got the right ones, or I got the top ones. So that takes care of that. This should be, I believe it was, what was it, 20 of them? 20, let me think here. Well, whatever. It's a fair number of them, and it's more than I need to do the 2 octaves. So that's a good thing. Let me get rid of some more packaging and put this aside. We got another one of these packages. Let's see, this should be, if I'm not mistaken, and I haven't looked yet, obviously, this should be the sockets. I don't have the chips yet, and I don't have some of the capacitors. That's what I'm waiting, and those are in the same package, or they should be, yep. These are the sockets for the chips, and again, enough sockets to cover what I need for this, and then a little bit more. So we're good there. Some more packing material to get rid of. And, whoop, I missed it. All right. This one, let me move these out of the way. Looks like it could be the circuit boards, but it's not. I realized partway through that I didn't even really have the components I needed to do a simple test. And one of the things I was really lacking was a good variety of electrolytic capacitors. So, if I've done this right, if I've ordered them up right, this should be a variety of electrolytic capacitors, which is taped together or not. Oh, it's not taped together. It looks like I can literally just pull these tabs and open the box. Oh good, this time they gave me the reference on what's actually in the box. But wow, that's a lot of electrolytic capacitors. And let's see, I'll just pull this third one, which is a 220 microfarad. I just want to see, yeah, these are probably not super high quality, considering how much I paid for the entire box, which is, I think, 300 capacitors in here. Or maybe it was the 500. Yeah, 24 value, 500 pieces. Under various different brand names, depending on who you order it from. But I'm pretty sure they're all going to have essentially the same label here. And it's just all probably coming from the same factory. It's just one of those things where you can, if you order up enough of them, they can put your name on it. But there we go. this is what we've got for electrolytic capacitors, so I could probably do some testing. And let's see if I can put that together. Let's see if I can harvest one more 555 from a kit that I haven't built yet that's been sitting around, and try and do 2 voices. That's all the 555s I have because nothing else has arrived. So that's it for here. So either this is the end of the video, or the next thing you see will be me demonstrating 2 voices at the same time.